Good morning, champions and friends of champions. This is Alan Buchanan, and I am your faithful president for the past 52 weeks. And I thought I would do a couple of things today. I thought I would complete reminiscing about the last 12 months as your president of Champions SoCal BNI. Last week, for those of you who are frequenters of this blog, I completed the months of October, November, December, January, February, March, and today I'll complete the last 6 months of our term, which commenced in April and ended just today, so the month of September. You know, April was a neat month because we hit a milestone. We actually achieved 37 members of the Champions SoCal BNI. Now, when we started our term in October, we only had 28 members. We lost a member, which took us down to 27, and then we steadily gained until we were up to 37. Now, I'm sorry to say that we completed our term with only 31 members, but I have to say that the 31 that we've retained have been phenomenal, and I believe that those 31 will catapult us into the next leadership term with a lot of momentum. And even though we fell from 37, 31 represents an approximately 10% increase over the numbers when we took over our roles as president, vice president, secretary, etc. in October of 2010. Also in April of 2011, we had Bring Your Child or Grandchild to BNI Week. Len Buchanan brought his two darling youngsters. Also, Randy Clement brought his son. They did a really nifty thing. They actually completed their sales manager moment as a father and son team and took home the International Tabasco Award that week. May started off with a bang. We had a sales manager moment meeting stimulant built around Cinco de Mayo. Many of our chapter members speak Spanish, and they actually delivered their sales manager moments in Spanish. There were some sombreros, there were maracos, and it really tied in nicely to our International Tabasco Award. Now, the month of June, June the 1st, I was actually able to give the founder of our BNI organization, Dr. Ivan Meisner, a referral. He had published a podcast a couple of weeks before and had asked for publicity for his business index that he was publishing. I was able to connect Ivan Meisner and Jan Norman, who is a friend of mine with the Orange County Register, on a conference call, and Jan wrote a very nice article about Dr. Meisner's business index. So you have to be careful what you ask for in this organization because you absolutely just might get it. Our meeting stimulant in June was absolutely off the charts. It was built around hats, and we called it Hat Day at Champions. Kathy Penton took home the pepper that week because she delivered the most phenomenal sales manager moment built around gardening and actually brought a gardening hat. Now, my personal choice that week would have been our estate planning attorney, Joe Davis, because he brought in a pirate hat and talked about pirating away your estate. To me, that was off the charts in terms of its award-winning content, but Kathy did in fact take home the pepper, and Kathy, I love you dearly too. You did a great job as well. Now, the month of July was interesting. You know, I pride myself, having been your president now for 52 weeks, having never missed a meeting. Well, I had to miss a meeting in July because my beautiful wife, Carla, was speaking in Chicago at the ASI convention. So, yes, I actually had a sub that day. Tom Morris from the Sunrise chapter subbed for me. And Gary Lorge ran the meeting. We had introduced Gary as the president-select a couple of meetings before. Gary got to sit by my side and watch how you fly the plane one week, and the following week he actually got to fly the plane. And I would say for any of you coming into the role of president, this is a very important thing to do because you don't want the first time you run a BNI meeting to be the first week of your term. It's completely nerve-wracking. I would highly recommend against that. So now we move into the month of August. In the month of August, there was a lot of leadership transition in the air. Leadership team trainings start that month. Our region's leadership team training started on August the 27th, and I was happy to say that Gary rallied his new leadership team together, and by the way, they're phenomenal. Chris Hansberger is going to be the secretary-treasurer. Eric Glass will be the new vice president coming off his term as that of membership chair. I'm going to be doing the EC. Greg Beck, who is our vice president, is going to be doing GRC. We have a wonderful head of mentors in Mr. Jim Sando, who, by the way, was probably the most exceptional educational coordinator that I've ever seen. I know Nathan Finney gets a lot of kudos, and Nathan's very, very good at what he does, but I've got to tell you, Jim Sando is the best, and our chapter actually said that of all the categories in our chapter, he delivers the most interesting and up-to-date content each and every week. He actually scored 100% on this Rate Your Chapter survey that we just recently did. So we attended leadership team training in mass, and then we rolled into the month of September, which is the current month. Now, toward the end of August and throughout the month of September, I have started video blogging. I actually interviewed a couple of visitors at the end of one of our meetings. I interviewed our incoming leadership team at the end of one of our meetings. At one of our meetings, I interviewed the keynote speaker. And today, I'm doing the second half of Reminiscing with the Champions. So I believe that video is the wave of the future. I've always utilized video in our chapter and believe that it's just a wonderful way to communicate not only your message, but also the message of your chapter members. So I'd highly encourage you as presidents and future leadership team members to embrace video. It's wonderful. So that wraps it up. That's 12 months in 2 weeks. Those are the highlights as I can remember them. I'm sure there were many, many more that I failed to mention. But for all of you that are champions and followers of champions and friends of champions, I just have to say this has been one of the most phenomenal weeks of my 54 years of life. And I said weeks, I meant years, of my 54 years of life. I love you all very dearly. I have thoroughly enjoyed being your faithful president all these weeks. And I just have to end with a woo champions. Woo champions! Make it a champion year, everybody.